Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance, and today is the 1st of March, and it is also the first week of our Get Organized Challenge. If you've been following along, and hopefully you have, we are going to run this challenge from now until the end of August. Each week I'm going to give you several tasks to do all around a certain theme. So March's theme is tools, because without good tools, our craft becomes very frustrating, right? And if without good working tools, it really can become frustrating. So I'm going to challenge you this month to really look at the tools you have and to decide if you need to maybe upgrade some of those tools or clean out some of them, or maybe donate, or even just throw out some of the old tools that just aren't serving us right now. This week's task is all around our sewing machine. So what I do at the beginning of every single month is clean my machine and oil it and make sure it's in good working order. And I'm going to challenge you to do the same. In a moment, I'm going to show you how I clean my machine. But I also would like to, I want you all to explore your machine. Sometimes we have all these wonderful features and we don't know what they do. So take some time to look at your machine, maybe try out some different feet, maybe even browse that user manual. Probably 6 months ago, I decided to pick up my user manual and really read through it. And I learned so much, things I just didn't know, okay? And I've had the machine about 2.5 years now. So take the time to do that. Sometimes we just jump in and start sewing and we don't actually read that manual, do we? So maybe even place it with some decorative stitches and really just give that machine some love. Another thing you can do is maybe find all the feet that go with your machine and get them all in one place. I have mine in a container, and it's like an old a tackle box of some sort that I got at, I think, Bass Pro Shop or something. And I'm sure there's a million of them online, but it works really well for me. I keep my feet in them, and I keep it right with my sewing machine table. So let's take a look at how I clean my machine. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to try to stay off to the side here as I do it. I have a few tools I keep. These I got at the Dollar Tree for $1 for a pack of 3, and they're just makeup brushes. I also have the brush that came with my machine. And then I cut up a bunch of these pipe cleaners, and they work really well with getting dust out. So I'll just take one of those and my brushes. Probably don't need all 3, but I do like this longer brush and this shorter brush, and I'll put them here. The next thing I do is I unplug my machine. This is so important, especially if you're using a pipe cleaner, because it has metal in it, so you don't want to get electrocuted or anything like that. My machine has this, I'm going to lift my foot and pop this off. Ew, it is gross in there. So I'm going to pop out my bobbin, and I'm going to start getting all the gunk out. And you can see the dust that I am getting out of there. And this is just from 1 month. And I just go through and clean all of that out. I'll take a picture of all the dust I get out just so you can see. I'm trying to do this so you can see it, and I'm not right in front of my machine, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I brush it out nicely. I like these brushes because they're nice and soft and they're inexpensive. All right, and then I'm gonna lift out, oh, I got my bobbin case out. I'm gonna clean the back of my bobbin case and clean that all up. And I'm just gonna use a stiffer brush to get in there and just clean things out that I can see. And I'm trying to lift it out as I go. All right. Again, this is just from 1 month's use, and as you know, I probably sew every day. So then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and really get into the grooves, and this grabs anything that I can't see. Now, I don't take my entire machine apart. I do get it, I try to get it serviced at least once a year. Sometimes it goes to 1.5 years, but I do try to keep it serviced regularly. But that's up to you. I know lots of people that don't. They think it's a waste of money. I personally feel like I spent a lot of money on the machine, and I want to make sure it's always in good working order. That's just my philosophy. No judgment here, but I do think it's very important to get all the dusting junk from our threads and stuff like that out of the machine. You will, in my opinion at least, you notice it running better. It's kind of like a clean car too. You feel better about it too. At least I do. So I'm just getting into all the nooks and crannies, and I am getting quite a bit of dust out. The next thing I try to do is I get in, these are your feed dogs, the things, I'll put a picture on the screen of the feed dogs, and you want to make sure you get in between those grooves so that the machine is pulling your fabric through. And I'm going to get out everything that I pushed out and make sure it's clean. Now you might be tempted to use canned air. You want to avoid canned air because it sometimes can push everything back in to your machine. You don't want to do that, and it can also cause some moisture. So do the best you can to get it clean and to pull this out. And it looks really good. It's getting all nice and clean. Perfect. The next thing I do is I oil my machine. Let me see if I can get that into the screen. I use this, and I just put a drop of oil on that felt pad in the center of my bobbin case. Now it looks like fuzz. Do not scoop that out. It is not fuzz. It is a felt pad. I just put a drop of oil on that. I'll put my bobbin case back in, which is nice and clean. And then I'll put my plate back on too. All right, then I'm going to take off my foot, and I'm just going to take my brush, the longer brush, and clean up in here. I'm going to clean out my needle threader and all those parts too. And then finally, I am going to change my sewing machine needle. And I keep my sewing machine needles in this type of case, and I have them organized. And I'm just going to release this one and put in a new needle. Oh, I'm also going to wipe that area too, because sometimes that gets gunged up. Again, make sure that your machine's unplugged for these steps. It's so important. There's so many times that you hear about people having accidents and sewing over their machine, or sewing over their finger and causing all kinds of issues. This guy goes into my used container, which is here, right here, and I just put him into that and close it up. When I'm ready to dispose of the needles, I'll tape that up so nobody gets hurt who's collecting our trash or anything like that. Okay, and that's that. And then finally, I will unthread my machine, and I will do that right. You're supposed to clip it and pull it out. Clip it up here, even though I already started to. I have such a habit of pulling it the other way, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to pull it out this way. One of my bad sewing habits. And I'm just going to lay that down there because I'm going to be using this thread later. And I am going to brush my bobbin winder and all that and get all the dust off. Up in here. There we go. And then you might want to wipe it even with a wet rag or damp rag just to get it nice and clean and shiny and make it all kinds of happy. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, seeing exactly what I do to my machine each month. It's important just to keep that machine well running and well oiled, but make sure you always follow the directions from your dealer or from your manual or both. This is what I do. My dealer actually says not to oil. I am a rebel and decide to oil it anyway because I think it does make it run better. Others may disagree, but anyway, that's what I do. And please continue watching. I'll see you next Monday for another challenge, and I hope you give that machine some love this week. Have a good one. Bye.